So there's quite a high ridge over there. So this isn't the natural horizon. So that sun's already been up for quite a while, and ideally you only really want to look at the sun during the first half hour after sunrise and the last half hour before sunset. That's when it's safest to do so. I looked at it maybe directly for about 40 seconds maximum. This is the first time this spring that I've actually sat down and positioned myself and waited for it. I have seen it a few times on the way to work, so I cycle to work quite early in the mornings, but it's really been a long time since I've done sun gazing with any regularity. But I do believe in the power of sun gazing, both as a method of healing and also as a source of information. It's just a beautiful thing to do as well. Watch the sun come up. So after I did my little video about meditation, a friend of mine who watches the channel sometimes, she commented and she remarked about the fact that I was earthing. That is what some people call it when you just don't wear shoes. I just call it not wearing shoes, but some people call it earthing. Also meditating, which is something I used to do a lot of in the past when I first started on the journey, the healing journey, the awakening, or whatever the hell it is. When I first basically just started experimenting. But yeah, meditation was a huge one, and like I say, later on I got into sun gazing, and it's so we got a little conversation going, and when she started to change, when she started to realise that she couldn't continue the way that she had done her whole life, she said that something that really worked for her was iridology, which I believe is the study of the irises. I think it's where someone just looks at your irises, and it's probably more enlightening when you look at the irises and then you make some changes in the diet and the lifestyle and your mental practices, and then you re-examine the irises and see what's changed. That's probably quite revealing. I mean, where I'm going with this is the thing is when you're chronically ill, that is when you're ill for a very long time, people hear of your illness and they want to help somehow, and people suggest dozens. Over the years I've had dozens, maybe 100 or more different random little things suggested to me. Oh, try this, try that, it might help. When I decided that I was going to try and do something, the things that really worked for me, I knew I had to quit smoking. I eventually got the hang of that. I quit drinking quite easily. I went vegetarian at that time and ultimately vegan. I got into the cycling. All of those things made huge differences to my skin and my overall well-being. But it didn't quite clear it, and then there was this period of trying all these mad different ideas, and I didn't have a lot of money at the time, and I was trying all the cheap ones. That's basically it. So if someone suggests something like iridology, you could probably do it yourself, you could probably have a look, but it's not going to be the same as having someone with years of experience. Someone with years of experience as an iridologist is going to charge money, probably more money than I'd care to spend on a thing that may or may not work for me. I'm not saying iridology may or may not work. I'm absolutely certain practices like that work, but they may or may not work for you. And it's not a lack of iridology. It's not a lack of pressure being applied to certain energy meridians in the soles of my feet. It's not a lack of having a piece of rose quartz crystal next to my bed when I sleep that is causing my illness. You've got to realise this when people are recommending all these different things, and when you yourself are using all these weird little different things. It's not those crystals or those practices that are helping you or healing you. It's your belief that those things are helping you and healing you. These are just sort of effects. Healing doesn't cost a thing. It should not cost a thing. Okay, so if you're already spending money on food, which we all are, just changing the food you're eating, it will have an effect. Speaking from personal experience, in the early days for me, veganism was a great help. I would recommend that to anyone. If you're having long-term chronic health problems, I would wholeheartedly recommend going vegan, even though I'm ex-vegan myself, because long-term I had problems with it. It's not that you just discover this rule and it's like, okay, I'm going to live the rest of my life like that. You should never close that door. You should never say never, basically. You don't know. You don't know. I haven't drank alcohol for 5 years. I've been offered it many times and I've often considered it, but it's never felt right. It's just, it's intuition, that's all it is. These might not be your beliefs. You may think that the more expensive something is, the better it is. Healing is free. It's always going to come from within. That's why it's free, and you can get it from nature. Just spending time in nature. And this YouTubing, doing more vlog-style videos, expressing what's in my heart and in my mind. I think down the line, ultimately, that's something that's going to be a big part of it. Something I'm gonna put it up there with meditation and sungazing. But I need to do more of these things, all of these things, and I certainly will do as this summer comes on.